You are listening to 1252 Sports Entertainment. Parental discretion may be advised.
Woo! It's about that time. Fat Mike, Chicago Sports. Yeah. Finally here. Shot City Sports is right here. Updates on news, get it here. No rumors, cause we keep it real. Fat Mike. Sit back, relax, sugar beer one of them nights.
Hey, this is Carmen DeFalco from ESPN Chicago, and you're listening to the Fat Mike Sports Show.
Hey, this is Dave Richard from CBS Sports, and you're listening to the Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show.
Hi, this is Jesse Rogers from the Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show.
Hey everyone, I'm Scott Merkin, the longtime Whitesox beat writer for MLB.com and proud graduate of the University of Michigan. You're listening to me on the Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show.
This is Chuck Arfine, and you are listening to the Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show. It's the best.
Hey, what's up? This is Greg Braggs Jr. from Braggs in the Stands, and you're listening to my guys on the Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show. Boom!
Hey everyone, Fred Hubner from ESPN 1000. Great to be on the Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show. I'm Dan Zaborski, senior writer for Fangraphs, and you're listening to Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show.
I'm JJ Stankovitz from NBCSportsChicago.com and the Undercenter podcast, and you're listening to the Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show.
Hey Sparkle, you know what I listen to? It's the Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show with my guy, Fat Mike. If you listen anywhere else, no jock. Listen to Fat Mike. The best.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Fat Mike Chicago Sports Show. I am always the host of the show, Fat Mike, and I'm Fat Mike Chicago. So there we go. And with me each and every single week is my co-host, my counterpart, my heterosexual life mate that he is, Angelo Ace Camacho. Angelo, say what's up, my friend.
What's up, everybody? Mikey, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Good, man. Good. I'm excited to get back to it. It's been a layoff the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'm excited to get back to it, though. I'm happy, man. There's a lot of things going on around here in Chicago. Not only just the depressingness of the Bears, but there's the White Sox are making some moves. The Chicago Cubs are making some moves, and it's exciting around here right now.
Well, I mean, the Cubs really aren't making that many moves other than
losing Theo.
I was going to say bad moves, but
that's not a good move. Losing Theo sucks.
Hey, they did hire a third base coach, though.
Yeah. What, Willie Harris, right? Is that who it is?
Yeah, so at least
Ex-Sox guy? Yeah, go figure. The White Sox keep on stealing our guys. They steal Steve Stone. You know, years ago, they steal
Len Casper now.
Now they steal Len Casper. You know, I'm adamant though about the whole Len Casper thing. I think he just left because he was tired of wearing a suit. The Marquee Network made the guy wear a suit to call a baseball game. He's like, fuck this. You know,
no, if you ask me, the Cubs look like morons with this Marquee Network, right?
Because, right now, well, I mean, how can you predict the pandemic? You know what I mean?
Not even that though. But like, you start a network. That's like something you should have done like 5 years ago, you know?
Yeah.
Like, just build that shit up when you're on
when you brought in Theo Epstein. That's the thing that you should have done.
Right now, you're gonna what? You're gonna blast this network. Hey, get the network. The team's gonna be garbage next year. Who wants to buy it for that?
I don't want to talk about it. It's only gonna make me upset.
I love the Cubs, but I wouldn't spend my money to watch them next year.
Well, I would. You know, I'm a Cub fan.
Like I'll watch them when they're on TV. But
of course.
I'm not going to get a special package just to.
I got the special package, Angelo. So should you, if you're a
Well,
Cubs
actually,
fan.
I can't get it up here.
Oh yeah, because you're one of those. Yeah. You're stuck in cheesehead country.
Yeah,
so that sucks. That's gross. That's gross. Maybe if you stick some tinfoil, like some rabbit ears and a block of cheese.
My house.
You know, stick some rabbit ears and a block of cheese and wiggle them on way down here to Chicago. Maybe you'll pick up the airwaves.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, we do got some big news here, man. Since the last time, I mean, we only touched on it a little bit. The White Sox hired Tony La Russa. That's kind of big news. There was some hot commodity stuff around here, around the Chicagoland area. I mean, people were pissed off. People are upset. Then they go out and they grab Adam Eaton yesterday and re-sign him to a 2-year deal, I believe, or a 1-year deal. What was it, Angelo? Do you know?
I think it's a 1, but it's a 2-year like player or team option or something the second year. I don't remember.
And that's not a bad move. I mean, that's honestly that's not a bad move. Adam Eaton, man, that dude. People may hate him because he's a jerk off and his attitude sucks. All right, but that's from what I've heard and what I've seen on the field and stuff like that, and overhearing teammates saying that he kind of sucks. But listen, that guy's a fucking gamer, man. He is a legit gamer. He's a fire starter, and I'm 100% wholeheartedly saying this. In 2017, what was that? 2018, 2019, 2019. I don't know whatever year the Nationals won the World Series.
I think it was 18.
All right. Without him, the Nationals would not have won that World Series.
Yeah, that's
legit. That dude was a fucking badass during that entire playoffs.
I mean, they brought him in for that reason, right?
Right.
Because he has this playoff experience now, and he was a key part of the Nationals winning in the playoffs. So when you're looking to take that next step as an organization, the only logical thing is to get people in there who have that experience. That's what they talk about all the time, right? Playoff experience. That's why everybody was hyped when the Sox made it to the playoffs last year, because you're getting these younger guys familiar with the playoffs. That added pressure. It's going to show you who's going to shine out and not. And now you bring him in, and hopefully, I know he left here, left the Sox before, and it was kind of a rocky situation. But now, he's a little older. Maybe he matured a little bit. He'll come in, try to mentor some of these younger guys, and who knows? Maybe it'll be a good thing for the White Sox.
Well, I mean, listen, this team right now, the Chicago White Sox team is definitely on the up and up. And as much as it pains me to say it, they really are. Later on in the year, once we get kicking off, we'll bring on Scott Merkin again, who writes for the White Sox, and we'll bring on some other White Sox guys. Chuck Garfien joined us once before. If you were listening in the intro to the song, he's been on with us a few times before. It's something that we can discuss with those guys. But that team is on the up and up, man. They really are. If there's one team, one professional sports team that's on the rise in Chicago right now, it's the Chicago White Sox. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
I mean, really, plain and simple. The Bears are in fucking quicksand. The Blackhawks are slowly starting a rebuild. The Bulls have kicked the tires on their rebuild by bringing in Karnisovas and bringing in Billy Donovan. And the Cubs are in the midst of their rebuild. So there's one organization in the city of Chicago that has their head on straight, besides like the Crestwood Flyers or whatever the fuck they are over here, or the Kane County Cougars, or the Chicago Fire or what have you. I'm talking the legit sports teams, but that's a team. And Rick, that's all due in part thanks to Rick Hahn.
Yeah,
Rick Hahn has done an amazing job with this White Sox team, man. And they're going to be exciting to watch. That's the other thing. They also just signed Lance Lasagna Lynn.
Yeah.
Lance Lasagna Lynn.
I like to call him Lance Fat Mike Lynn.
Yeah.
You guys are real similar looking.
Lance Anya.
Beard and,
Lance Anya.
Yeah.
I bet you he hates Mondays just like Garfield. Lance Anya.
If you go back to 2018, right? The Sox, there were some names in the organization, but at that time, the Bears were looking like they were on the rise, right?
Yeah.
The Cubs were still in the midst of, the core guys are still there.
Yep.
They have a shot at getting to the World Series. And now it's completely flipped, man. The Bears and the Cubs are at the bottom, and everybody else, it's moving up.
It's amazing how fast the script has flipped on both the Cubs and the Chicago Bears. Yeah. It's amazing. With the Blackhawks, we've seen it a while. We've seen the decline of the Blackhawks since the 2016 season. All right. We've seen Brent Seabrook get old. We've seen Duncan Keith play too many minutes and legs go bad. We've seen Jonathan Toews start to show his age a little bit. Patrick Kane has been a fucking cyborg, still putting in 40 goals a year, but that's a different story. Those guys are few and far between.
Right, like you expected it. You kind of seen the
you've seen the digression.
Coming.
Right, you've seen the decline coming. With the Chicago Cubs, that decline should not have happened. You still have this fucking core group of guys in Javier Baez, Wills Contreras, help me out here. The list goes on. Chris Bryant, Kyle Schwarber, Alberto Almora. The list goes on and on and on.
Yep.
And it's just like, what just happened? You know,
for a lineup with those names, it still blows my mind that they are just so inconsistent when it comes to hitting. Like, it's wild.
Right. I was thinking about this the other day too, right? The Chicago, not to swap from the Sox to the Cubs, but, you know, there's a lot of stuff going on here with the Chicago Cubs too. You know what I mean? With losing Theo, losing Len Casper. I mean, we can continue to talk about baseball all night. I'm kind of begging for one of these days because I'm getting sick of talking football, to be honest with you. But anyways, you know, with the Chicago Cubs, you've seen it coming. But I was thinking about this the other day, Angelo. Now, how do I put this to where I don't sound like a fucking meathead? The reason why we hold those guys in such a high standard, like Kyle Schwarber and, you know, John Lester. John Lester's been great for fucking ever. His entire career has been phenomenal. But guys like Wilson Contreras and Kyle Schwarber and, you know, Ben Zobrist and Javier Baez, we hold those guys on a pedestal, I think. All right. Now, this is me looking at it like a baseball fan, not as a Cub fan, okay? We hold those guys on a pedestal just because of the fact that they won a World Series. Just because of the fact they won a World Series does not make them Chicago great or icon type of players.
Well,
it don't. You know, what Kyle Schwarber did was amazing in 2016, coming off an injury, you know, and it was something of lore. He will go down as – it'll go down as one of the greatest Chicago Cub moments and one of the greatest Chicago Cub moments ever. In the history of all of the Chicago Cubs, Kyle Schwarber coming back to help with that World Series will go down as one of the greatest moments of all time. But is he a great player? Is he worth an $18 million a year contract? Am I going to sit here and plug his fat ass out in left field to watch him botch balls and just assist on botch balls, throwing a guy out at second base when it should have just been an easy routine fly ball that he should have fucking caught? No.
Right.
I'm not gonna plug him in there to hit 204.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, and that's one thing I'm saying.
It's tricky because like the Bears and the 85 Bears, right, are a prime example of a team that, you know, they won the championship and everybody thought, oh, they should win more, right? The Cubs were the same way. They won the 1 and 16. They should have won 2 or 3, right? So you're going to always hold that Cubs team, especially for the length of time since they had won the World Series, in a high regard, no matter what. Just like we hold the 85 team in this this godlike status of sports teams because we haven't seen the Bears sniff that type of a team since. You know what I mean? And it makes you kind of wonder. They won in 16, the Cubs. Is that like the only time they're going to win going forward for a while? I hope not. You know, if you're a White Sox fan, you're definitely going to enjoy rubbing your Cubs fans' noses in the success that they're going to have these next 5-6 years.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, this rebuild has to start now. It should have started 2 years ago with the Chicago Cubs team. Absolutely. You know, I'm 100% pro the guy that, you know, hey, Matt Nagy, Chris Bryant has not been I don't know what the fuck. I'm at it again, Angelo. I don't know what's going on.
That's all right.
I'm the 100% guy that's like, listen, fuck, Chris Bryant has not been the same guy since he got doinked in the fucking dome.
Yep.
All right, like legit, he has not been the same player. The back of his baseball card doesn't mean shit to me anymore. I don't care anymore. You know, you should have shopped that guy a while ago. You know what I mean? Because right now his return is the lowest it's ever been since he's been a big leaguer.
You and I have talked about that. Like, the back of the baseball card. Yeah, that's great, right? You can have all these cool stats, but if you don't have those stats when you need those stats, what's the point, right? The inconsistency, the unclutchness of that Cubs team was wild. You know, you expected all those guys to step up and never perform like they did in the playoffs the last 3 seasons before this started, you know, and that's why we're at this point we're at now.
Yeah, and like exactly. And that's one thing that I'm really excited about, you know, as much as it pains me to say this, that's one reason why I'm excited about the Sox team. One thing that the Cubs couldn't do was hit over the last 3 seasons.
Right.
One thing that Tony La Russa is not going to put up with is a bunch of guys hitting fucking 230.
Right.
That's not going to happen underneath Tony La Russa's watch. He's going to go fucking bananas if he has a team full of guys that's sitting there in You know, that he's not going to sit up with a guy batting fucking 210 hitting. He's not going to do it.
Right.
You're going to see a guy like Adam Eaton and Tim Anderson leading that team off and then going into the meat of your order. We got a question from the chat here. Roger Morris says, "What's up, guys? Checking in. Who do we need at leadoff for the Chicago Cubs to be successful?" And that's the problem. For the Chicago Cubs to be successful, it's more than just leadoff, man. Yeah. It really is. It's a lot more than just leadoff. You don't have a center fielder. You don't have a second baseman right now. That's where you're at. Nico Horner, can he be the guy that can lead off for the Chicago Cubs?
I mean,
that's a tall ask. That's a tall order to ask of a kid that's just started last year playing.
It's hard to say who it should be, right? Because we don't know as of right now who's even going to be on this team,
right, to
start the season. Because there's been all this talk about, well, they're already moving on with Schwarber, Lester. You know what I mean? I definitely
need a Dexter Fowler again.
Yeah,
Roger, I'm fucking.
When they had that guy at the top of the lineup, Dexter Fowler, the "you go, we go." Remember that?
Right.
In 2016. You need that guy, that spark.
You need a fire starter, and that's one thing. And listen, everybody knows I'm a Cub fan, and I fucking hate the White Sox, man. All right. But that's one thing that Adam Eaton brings to the table. He's a guy that you can plug right at the top of the order immediately to be your leadoff man and play 85, anywhere between 80 and 115 games a year,
right,
to lead off your club and have an on-base percentage over 280. He's going to get on base for you. He's going to be that guy that just starts and like, this fucking guy is up again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what Tony La Russa has had his entire career as a manager. He's always had a guy that's gotten underneath your fucking skin to start the game and dig out an 11 pitch at bat to start a game. It's frustrating.
Like, I understand the White Sox going out to get La Russa. Yes and no. Okay. He has that experience of winning World Series, right? Mm-hmm. But he also hasn't been in the game for a long time. The game is completely different. So it's going to be an interesting development to see how the team and him kind of marry themselves together, But I do think the respect level from the players should be there to start. It's just a matter of, will that continue? You know what I mean?
Right. Listen, the one thing that I've picked up from Tony La Russa, from watching him coach in National League Central for what seemed like a million years, and them winning, NL Central after NL Central, is that he is a no-nonsense guy, and his guys definitely do perform for him. And they do exactly what they tell him. They do exactly what he tells them to do. If not, then you can have a nice fucking spot right over there on the pine bench and not play at all. Either you go out there and lay down a bunt and play small ball the way Tony La Russa likes to play small ball, or, hey, listen, there's a place in fucking AAA for you. There's a place in Charlotte for you, too. We can bring up the kid that will do it. And that's one thing I like about Tony La Russa.
Yeah. I mean, he's not going to take any shit from anybody. He's going to expect, a certain level of professionalism from the team. I know there's a few White Sox fans who are curious to see if he's going to pull – try to stop that free, fun-loving kind of swagger type of team. If he's smart, he doesn't. You know what I mean? He doesn't go in there and try to change personalities. That's what makes this White Sox team fun to watch for the fans, is that you're just out there having a good time playing.
Right. So, yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun, man. It's going to be a lot of fun this coming up summer. I'm after this shitty Bears season here, man. I mean, I'm starting to gear myself more closer and closer to Sox and Cubs baseball years, man. I mean, honestly, that's where I'm at right now. I'm starting to gear myself closer and closer to baseball. Everybody who knows me and has been a part of the Fat Mike show and that listens to the show here, Angelo, they know that baseball is my 1A and football is like a very close 1B. But I can watch baseball at any time, any specific moment. I mean, I love sitting there on the couch. Megan will be like, "Oh, I'm going to bed." "All right, babe, I'll see you a little later." "All right, I'm going to watch the fucking late Dodgers and San Diego Padres game, or the late Dodgers and Rockies game, or it doesn't matter who's on. I'm sitting up and watching it, man.
Right.
Because that's how much I love baseball. Ron Rupnow, our buddy that tunes into us all the time, says that he hears there might be some friction between him and Tim Anderson. And we've gone over that. Like, that's been gone over too. I guess that he's going to be very, very careful around Tim Anderson and let Tim Anderson do his thing. I mean, you just got to let that guy play. That guy's a fun guy. He's another one of those guys that got a meeting just with a better personality than I think from the outside perspective, outside of the box perspective, that you just let that fucking guy be. He's going to clock in every day, play his ass off, leave his fucking tears on the field, blood, sweat, and tears on the field. And you just let that guy go, man. I love Tim Anderson.
Yeah.
I love that guy.
When everybody threw a fit because he did that bat flip and everybody was all pissed off. Dude, you need a guy like Tim Anderson. Baseball is boring, right? If you're not like a dedicated diehard baseball fan like you won't like baseball because it's very, there was like an order, the unwritten rules of baseball, where this is how you do yourself, blah, blah, blah. You need guys like a Tim Anderson or a Javi Baez to spark the interest back, not only for the fans watching now, but for younger fans. You know what I mean? Like, I have 2 boys, and when we watch the Cubs, my stepson, who at the time in 2016 was, 11, he was all for Javi, watching him fly around the field. And,
I love Javi.
Swagger up at the box. You know what I mean? And that's what you want. You want to re-engage this younger generation.
You just want excitement, baseball. Right?
Yeah.
You got to get these guys. You got to get these kids into baseball, and if that's what it takes, is a bad flip here and there. Like they're like you said though, there are some unwritten rules of baseball.
Right.
Excuse me. There are some unwritten rules of baseball, and one of them is, is the bat flip shit, or is the yuck it up moment after a home run. All right, like one thing that still drives me nuts. Okay. Is hitting a home run and yucking it up when you're down by 5.
Yeah.
All right. Like if you're going to sit there and watch a ball fucking take off out of the stands and you're down by 6 runs in the bottom of the 9th. Okay. That's due for a fucking zinger right in the ear hole.
It's like the fucking Bears.
But it's like exactly.
They'll be losing by 24 points,
losing
get
by
a sack and act like they just won the Super Bowl.
Right, losing by 17, losing by 17 and doing backflips into the fucking end zone. Are you kidding me?
God.
Are you kidding me?
There's a time and a place.
There's
definitely a time and a place.
Yeah, there has to be a time and a place. If you're sitting up there and Tim Anderson goes, I mean, it could be against the Cubs. If he hits a walk-off homer in the bottom of the 9th and watches that pitch sail out on the fucking 35th, all right, go right ahead.
Right.
You deserve it like that. You deserve to do the bat drop, like a mic drop, just like boom, right on home plate. And I would even turn around and give Wilson Contreras, like, you stupid motherfucker, why are you giving me a fastball? Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I would do. I mean, I'm just saying, that's just me. You know what I mean?
Right.
That guy has every reason to yuck it up, man. He's a good player. He makes the game exciting. And that's what's bad with baseball right now, is that few players are making the game exciting. You got guys out there like Mike Trout. I never realized how good that guy was, Angelo, until I got the baseball package. Where I can watch that.
You never watch it.
That fucking dude is unbelievable.
Right.
All right. Unbelievable.
But if you don't see him, you don't know.
Right.
And because he's in Los Angeles.
I mean, if you have the guy in fantasy baseball, Angelo, it seems like the guy's a myth. It's like this guy's not real. It's like Babe Ruth. Like I think Babe Ruth is made up. I think Babe Ruth is a myth. He never existed. He's like Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny. Fucking guy never existed.
Just like the moon landing and all that stuff. Babe Ruth right up there.
They just took a picture of a guy who looked like his name would possibly be Babe.
Yeah.
Like, that guy can look like a babe. He kind of looks like a pig. You know what I mean? He kind of looks like a beer swigging fucking fat guy slurping hot dogs and sucking down brews in the middle of the 6th inning. Yep. But honestly, I think all his numbers are fabricated. I think it's all bullshit. Babe Ruth is a myth. He's like the Loch Ness Monster or Sasquatch or fucking
Loch Ness Monster.
He is. Dude, he's completely made up, dude. I'm serious. Nobody. No. He's a myth. He's an old wives' tale. He's the Loch Ness Monster and Sasquatch, the abominable snowman.
But see, that's the thing about baseball is they don't market well enough, man.
Right.
You know, they just
baseball.
don't.
Fuck, man. I mean, honestly, you got these guys that are faces of the game. You got guys like Aaron Judge, who's big market. You got guys like Javier Baez or Chris Bryant, who are big market here in Chicago. And Mike Trout, Los Angeles, huge market. But that's not the team in Los Angeles.
Right.
The team,
not at all.
I'm sorry to say, the team in Los Angeles is the LA Dodgers.
Right. 100%.
You know what I mean? 100%.
And even the Dodgers, like, if you weren't an avid baseball fan, could you really tell me who Justin Turner is? You know what I mean? Right. No. You know, they have to do a better job.
I'm a diehard baseball fan. Yeah, I could.
Right. But I'm just saying, if you're just a regular guy watching baseball, you know, I've heard guys on ESPN 1000 talk about it all the time. If Mike Trout was walking down the street, would you even know it was Mike Trout?
Right.
You know what I mean?
No, exactly.
Unless you watch the sport.
They don't market the right way.
Right.
They don't market it the right way.
That's the difference between
and Manfred's Manfred's a dipshit anyways.
Yeah. Yes, that's
like, honestly, Manfred's I don't even want to talk about it. It's only going to make me upset. It's only going to put me in a bad spot before we have Carmen on.
We'll be upset enough once we start talking about the Bears. I'm glad we've gone a half hour without really talking about them.
Dude, honestly, fuck yeah, dude. I'm super stoked that we've talked baseball.
It's been nice not to get depressed.
It's been beautiful. Like, I'm actually dude, seriously, you get my shit going on baseball, dude. I can go fucking round for round with dudes. I love baseball. I fucking love it, and I miss it, and I'm excited.
There's nothing like opening day, man. The weather's just warming up, you know, and noon game is on. You're going to sit down and enjoy the game, and 17 hours later, and the game's over, and, you know, you don't get to enjoy your day because you spent it all day watching baseball. But
right. Let's get our guy in here, man. Our guy, Carmen DeFalco from ESPN Chicago 1000, joining us tonight. I'm super excited about having him on with us again. Good friend of the show. Guy always comes on here. I probably bother the shit out of this guy 99% of the guy's life. Like, I'm always hitting the guy up, like, did you fucking watch this football play? And he's just like, dude, I don't even know what to tell you. Like, I'm pretty sure he just got me on, like, one of those, like, immediate messages where it's like, oh, fuck, I can't talk to this guy right now. Like, just leave me alone. I can't talk to him no more. But joining us right now, Carmen DeFalco from ESPN Chicago 1000. Carmen, my man, what's going on, brother? Thanks for joining us again.
No problem. What's up, boys?
How you doing tonight?
Good.
Thanks for, dude. Listen, I'm sorry that I bother you, dude. I have to piss you off sometimes. Where you're like, are you fucking kidding me again with this guy?
Never.
Mike, I've only known you for what, 4 months now, 5 months?
Yeah.
And I'm at that point with you.
Yeah.
Well, I can only imagine where Carmen is.
Well, you have to deal with him more often.
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy deals with me twice a week. You know, I only text Carmen when I'm, a fifth of whiskey in and just pissed off the Bears or the Cubs or the White Sox.
Which is easy these days.
Which is all the time.
Carmen, we started off the show here tonight talking off baseball, and it's actually a good introduction here because yesterday I was listening to your show, and you guys had newcomer on, Adam Eaton, for a quick minute, and he just kind of I'm not going to – in my opinion, he was kind of a turd.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
Maybe a little bit.
Maybe a little bit. I'm excited. I think Adam Eaton, listen, the guy may be surly. The guy may be have a bad reputation around a couple different players around the league. But in my opinion, this guy's a fire starter. And without him, when the Washington Nationals won the World Series, they wouldn't have won the World Series. That's the type of player you guys are getting back here. And it's almost like you guys never even traded him because the haul that you took back from him, you still maintain. How do you feel about bringing Adam Eaton to the South Side?
I mean, listen, I think it's okay. I do think when Adam Eaton's healthy, and unfortunately that's been a problem for him in his career, but I think when he's healthy, I mean, there certainly are worse options to play right field for you. I think Adam's getting a little older. The injuries have always been a little bit of a concern, and that scares me somewhat. But if he can stay healthy and he bats somewhere in the bottom of your order and kind of does what he's done most of his career, you're probably going to get some decent production out of right field. They've had none the last 3 years, guys. And I mean, there's no team in baseball that's had less production out of its platoon of right fielders than the White Sox. Their Fangraphs WAR number 18, 19, and 20 is below 1. They've contributed negative wins. The next worst team in baseball is Pittsburgh at 0.9 wins above replacement. So the White Sox are a negative 1.7. I mean, that's a huge disparity between them and the rest of the league, or what league average is. I mean, they really have had next to nothing out of that position for 3 seasons. So, Eaton's going to help. I mean, he is a professional. He is salty. He is surly. He does rub guys the wrong way. This is not me speculating. This is out there. Right. This is out there in the public. People know about it. But you're right, Mike. I mean, like I will tell you I'll agree with what you said. Without him, they probably don't win the World Series. He was fabulous in the World Series. He was really good that whole playoff run for Washington.
Fucking phenomenal.
Phenomenal. And I mean, he was
stealing
fabulous.
bags, base hits, knocking in runs. The guy was unbelievable in that World Series run.
No doubt. There's no doubt about it.
The thing that sucks too is like it sucks that he has that reputation. But then again, I've always looked at, this is just me. This is me as a Cub fan, okay, Carp? So I don't mean it about you, okay?
Right.
But like typical Sox fans, from my experience, have a jerk face, a face that you want to punch, like Jim Edmonds.
Jim Edmonds had jerk.
Jim Edmonds is the typical jerk face guy. Scott Pitsednik is a jerk face guy, a guy that you just want to fucking rifle right in the teeth. All right. Another guy is Adam Eaton. He's that guy. He just has that face like, ooh, just give me one shot and I'll just fucking lay your teeth right out of your fucking mouth.
Sometimes a team needs that.
Yeah. And that's the type of guy that he is. But you know what? Like I was bullshit with Mike North a little bit yesterday after I heard that call on ESPN there with you guys. And I even said, I was like, wow, Adam Eaton, kind of a turd. And he's like, Mike North's like, hey, what do you mean? What happened? What did I miss? Blah, 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 blah. And I told him, he's like, that's exactly what the White Sox need. They need that fire starter, a guy to have some attitude. And, with a team full of young kids, with Eloy and a team with Tim Anderson and a team with Jose Abreu, who's another guy who manages the clubhouse there, everybody looks up to. Maybe this guy be like, hey, listen, stay away from me. Do your job. You're here to do a job. You are paid to do a job. And that's one thing I like the way this direction is going with this White Sox team.
He's definitely coming into a different type of atmosphere, different type of clubhouse, different expectations. I mean, he even acknowledged that with us yesterday, that it's so dramatically different from where he was when he was here 4 years ago, 5 years ago. They're ready to win. Abreu is, while he's quiet, Abreu has total command and total respect out of every last person in that organization, in that clubhouse. And, he's the gentle giant, so to speak. And, maybe what Eaton does bring in that rough around the edges kind of attitude in smaller doses, because he's not going to be relied upon as much to be a leader, can serve them well. There were a lot of corner outfield option guys. And like, again, I think, is it a great deal? I don't think it's a great deal. Is it a fine enough? Yeah. I mean, I'm like Matt on it, I guess I'd say. But with so many options out there, I even would have kicked the tires on Schwarber. I'm in the minority here, but Jock Peterson, most Sox fans don't like that idea. But I think Jock, with his power in that park in the summers, could play well. Michael Brantley, Eddie Rosario. I mean, I think it's like flush, with corner outfielders right now. And I think there were probably some better options for them, but they went with Adam Eaton. So now you got to roll with it. You'll get AE and AE, Adam Eaton and Adam Engel. That's your platoon for right field this year.
Well, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Angelo. I'm sorry.
I was just going to ask Carm, with bringing on Lance Lynn and Adam Eaton, obviously there's still some areas.
Lasagna Lynn. He looks like me. Jesus Christ, that guy gains another.
He does.
You're going to have to fucking find a car tarp to fit.
He's awesome.
Sweet Pete.
Yeah, he does. He does have a striking resemblance to you, Mike. That's for sure.
He does a little bit.
So what other areas, Carm, do you think that this team should focus on right now? Because obviously, starting pitching is still a little bit questionable. Where do you think that they're going to head?
We were talking to Scott Merkin today on our show from MLB.com, who covers the Sox. And Scotty made the point about closer. I guess they haven't totally closed the book on Colomé coming back, but I think that might be unlikely at this point. I think they have a lot of options down there in-house. They've got all these hard throwers, right? I mean, luckily, knock on wood every time we say it, like it looks like Crochet dodged some sort of catastrophe and some sort of major bullet, because when he came out of that game in Oakland, I think all of us as Sox fans were like, oh my God, please don't tell me a whole year now with Tommy John. So knock on wood, that could be an option for you down there. They've got so many hard throwers. Maybe they should be in the market for Liam Hendricks. Maybe they should be in the market for Brad. Brad Hand kind of walked the high wire a lot last year. I bet if you talk to Indians fans, they tell you that, you needed a bottle of Pepto, like every time he went out there with the lead in the 8th or 9th inning. But I still think Brad Hand could be a realistic option. And I think it was maybe not surprising because people know the fiscal limitations right now or the limited amount of resources that they have in Cleveland. But I think even with that said, we know they're not going to spend a lot of money. We know they're going to trade Lindor. People still kind of went, what? They're not picking up the option on Brad Hand, So again, you've got a position here where they're the market's sort of flush with guys and some different options, and they have their own options in house. But I thought Scott made a good point. I wouldn't be shocked if they go out and they still explore that market a little bit. They don't have long-term commitments. At least the ones they have are very team friendly. I know pandemic and all, but the White Sox aren't strapped for cash. Don't let them fool you. So they could still go out and spend some money. And I think they're still going to poke around in the free agent market, and closer might be the one area where they're still going to take a long, hard look.
We got a question from the chat here for you, Carm. Our buddy Chris Gonzalez wants to know, how do you feel about Cairo, and is he the right fit for bench coach? Was there someone else that would have been a better fit or hire? What do you think? I don't
know. I mean, I know he's got some familiarity with Tony La Russa, so that's good. You bring in another guy that's part of that staff now that speaks the language that especially a lot of the players in the White Sox clubhouse speak, sort of knows their culture, speaks their language. I think there's some familiarity there. Sounds like he's wanted to kind of get back into baseball now that his kids are getting a little older. From what I understand, he's ready to sort of take that plunge. Those types of players often make good bench coaches, to be honest. So off the top of my head, I don't want to fake it and tell you I can give you another name that I can think of that might have been a better coach. Who knows what it'd have been like had they hired AJ Hinch? I don't even know how AJ filled out his staff. I do know the pitching coach that they hired in Detroit was somebody that the White Sox very badly wanted, this young pitching coach from Michigan. And had they went with AJ Hinch, he would have gotten the job. Although I've heard great things about the White Sox pitching coach, and that he was the coach for Giolito in high school and a few other guys. I mean, he coached a couple. There's like a pitching factory out at that school in California where Giolito and a few of these other guys came out of. He's worked with some very prominent I think Jack Flaherty might be one of them too, if I'm not mistaken. In high school, he's worked with some very big-time MLB pitchers now. So I've heard great things about him. I don't know too much about him. But as far as bench coach, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I can't give you another name, but just knowing Miguel Cairo a little bit and knowing, the type of player he was, probably going to be a good fit to have that young sort of Latin voice to be next to Tony on the bench.
One thing, now there's been a lot of heat back and forth on the Tony La Russa hire. There's been a lot of guys that say that they hate it. There's a lot of guys that like it. And the only thing that I haven't heard this yet, Carmen, I've listened, like I said, I listen to you guys. I'm a P1. You guys are on my radio all day, every day from 5. I literally heard Cappy this morning on Jay Will and those guys this morning at 5:30. It's seriously on my house at 5:30. And
you're up earlier than me today.
Oh, dude, I'm up every morning like that. This fucking dog won't leave me alone. I swear to God, that's another thing. This dog, I shit you not. Anyways, what I was going to say, Tony La Russa, one thing that I haven't heard thus far by anybody that calls in or even by you guys at the station, I watched La Russa manage for the better part of 10 years. 10 years down there in the same division as my Cubs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? One thing that I will say this, he is not going to put up with guys that hit fucking 205. He's not going to put up with that. And that's why I absolutely love the signing of Adam Eaton. He's going to be the guy that turns his team around like, listen, you got to slap at this. You're going to bunt. You got to bunt. You got to do this. You do this. You do what you got to do to win a fucking baseball game. And that's what I love about La Russa. Nobody has said that yet about anybody.
But that's kind of the thing that I think scares me and a lot of people is that the game has changed so much since he did leave the dugout. And this idea that, he won't tolerate a guy that hits 205 or a guy that strikes out 200 times. I got news for you. You better be able to tolerate a guy who strikes out a lot. Whether you like it or not, that's baseball. Right. That's baseball in 2021. That's just it. The game. And again, I'm not here to debate whether it's changed for the better or the worse. I mean, I'm an analytics guy, but I'll admit, I don't love everything. The game has slowed down. The game has come to a screeching halt, quite frankly. I mean, I can't say that I'm crazy about that. But the way these teams are built and the way analytics are used, you better have a manager that understands a guy might strike out a whole bunch. A guy might strike out 150 times and still be your most valuable player. And that's what I'm a little worried about, is that Tony can no longer have the attitude, you're not allowed to strike out. That's just the game today, especially from the guys that you put in these sort of traditional run-producing spots in the lineup. And
3, 4, 5.
That's the fear of having a guy like Tony La Russa, who is pushing 80 years old, who's going to be an octogenarian before we know it, boys. That's the fear that I think we all have. Look, I hope that this year, next year, whenever, he's at the parade holding that trophy, and I'll say, you know what, it worked. I mean, they might be able to they might win in spite of him because they've got so much talent. And Tony might be in some weird way exactly what they need. And I haven't meant to diminish Tony's career because I watched all of Tony La Russa's career virtually. I'm 44 years old. He was the first manager I remember of the White Sox. I'm old enough to remember him managing in Oakland and, quite frankly, changing baseball. He revolutionized the way bullpens are used. Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan, the two of them, absolutely, without debate, revolutionized modern bullpen usage. So Tony's been on the forefront of some cutting edge stuff in baseball. I give him all of that due and respect because he's earned it and he's a Hall of Famer. But he's been out of that dugout for nearly a decade, guys, and the game has changed a lot since he's been away. And we'll see how adaptable, I guess, he is.
Now, Carm, I know you said you'd like to see La Russa holding that trophy in the next 2 years. So what would you consider being a successful season going forward for next year?
I think you got to make a little bit of a run here, guys. I mean, like just getting to that. Well, certainly you've got to make the playoffs. I mean, they can't backslide and miss. That'd be terrible. Make a little, win a series. If it's easy to say now in December, like, I'll just be happy if they win a series. If they get to next, let's assume the schedule is going to operate as normal. If they get to next October and they win a series and then they get bounced in the LCS, I'll be pissed. I mean, who are we kidding? But I think that's sort of like at the very least what we should see in the progression here. And winning series in October is not easy. I mean, we all know that. Cubs fans know it, and they won a lot. And it's still you feel like you're not satiated, right? But that also goes to show why baseball is maybe the hardest to win. I mean, there's just so much randomness in October, and there's so much randomness in these short series or these one-game play-ins for the wild card and all that. I mean, it's hard. It's damn hard. But I do think that should be like the next step in the progression here is you're back in the playoffs and you're a serious threat in the American League.
The Sox team is going to be good, Carm. We were just talking just before we had you on here. If there's any team in Chicago that has any upside right now, it's the Chicago White Sox, and that's definitely a thing. One thing that's going on in Chicago here is the complete opposite shit show of the Chicago Bears. All right, now you and I had you on earlier on in the year, and you and I were talking about the Mitchell Trubisky pick. Okay. And you said he may go down as the biggest bust in Chicago sports history. Are you still holding on to that? Are you still think the same thing?
Yeah. Well, it's going to go down as like the biggest flub, I think, in Chicago sports history for sure. I mean, is he technically the biggest bust? Probably not. Like, Mitch has still started a lot of games in this league, and he's probably going to play for a considerable number of years somewhere else as a backup and get his chance to spot start from time to time. So is he technically the biggest bust? Maybe not, but it's going to be the biggest flub, I think, in Chicago sports history. I think it's the biggest flub in the NFL. And guys, I mean, we're going to be talking about this for not just us. I mean, it's not. This is a well-known fact around the NFL. I mean, this looks worse by the game. By the season. I mean, look what Patrick Mahomes, we know where Mahomes is, like his trajectory right now. Right. Deshaun Watson's playing the best football of his life, guys, with nobody. And now we lost Will Fuller, and he still looked great last week against that Colts defense. I mean, he's playing the best of his career, and he's got nobody. So with each passing season, this looks worse and worse. These two guys look like they are destined for all-time greatness. Certainly one of them, I mean, come on. I mean, like what Mahomes is probably going to end up being when this is all said and done. It's not a stretch. The greatest
football player ever.
Thank you. It's not a stretch to right now. We're like, if we look at his arc, if we look at his trajectory and say
it's 10
more years of this, and he's going to be the greatest football player of all time. I mean, that's where it's going, guys.
This cracks me up here, Carm. I'm sitting here this afternoon. The Megster and I, Meglanoma, the Megalodon, Megan and I are sitting on the couch here. We're sitting there flipping through channels, and I'm watching the news here. And I come across the thing with Matt Nagy, and I had to rewind this fucking thing probably 6 or 7 times, dude. Like, I'm not even joking you. He said in this little presser, I don't know if it was today or yesterday, I don't know when it was. He said, and I quote, that storyline is never going to leave for any of those guys, meaning based on Mitch, Mahomes, and Watson. And I quote again, it says, just like it doesn't for any of those quarterback classes you run into, usually they're all compared. That's where I get a little iffy. Okay, usually they're not all compared. You know, you look at that the 84 draft with all the Marino and all those guys.
83, right? I think that was 83.
83. Those guys weren't really compared. It was just like, oh yeah, that's a great fucking pick. That's a great pick. That's a great pick. In this draft here, in the 2017 draft, you fucked up. Like that's what's going to be. That's going to be the focal point on this going forward. Yeah. That's like drafting Sam Bowie over Jordan.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
there's no question.
That's what it's like.
Yeah.
And that's like I'm like, no, you're wrong.
I think the biggest thing, Mike, with that is the fact that the Bears moved up to get Trubisky. I feel like if they would have stayed where they were, it wouldn't be such a big deal. Yeah, they missed on him, but if they were so convicted on Mitch Trubisky was the guy, and they just completely missed. It wasn't even close.
Yeah, I mean and granted, you only moved up one spot, but you still traded you traded a lot of draft capital to do that. You had so much conviction that he was your guy, and it has turned out to be such a flub that it almost renders everything else Pace does or has done. It almost renders it. I don't. Obsolete's not the word I'm looking for, but it's so hard to give him a pass for any of the good things that he has done. Yeah, I mean, like in a sense, it kind of does. It's like illustrating this incompetence that you had in the entire process where you kept it all to yourself. And for whatever reason, you were so convinced about it. You never bounced it off of anybody to get, different feedback. You're supposed to have a consigliere for crying out loud in your organ, right? You're supposed to have a red team. It's supposed to be an exchange of ideas so that when you collaborate, you're not, he had blinders on.
Right.
And, you better be damn sure. And it's blown up in his face. So it almost makes everything else that he's done that's been good insignificant, I guess, guys, because how do you overcome that kind of miss? And it is still got your franchise now in this perpetual cycle where you're trying to fix the quarterback problem. And that's not an easy thing to do. And, you made a couple other reaches here to try to win with this defense he had now, hoping that the quarterback was not going to be a problem, but he is. So, that's come back, like that's circling back to sort of haunt you as well. And, it's left you in a spot where you've got a lot of problems to fix, a lot,
Absolutely.
The thing that I look at too, like I'm not a Mitch fan, man. Anybody that listens to my show here knows I'm not a Mitch fan. I call into you guys and I bitch about Mitch all the time. I am not a Mitch guy, but you don't even know what this kid can be because you never put anything in front of him. Like that, like you and I were talking about before the season even started when I had you on, Carm. I was livid that they did not go after, like I said, the big corn-fed boys, get some big fat boys up front to help block for this kid. If he's your quarterback going forward, you got to get somebody to protect this kid. And I made a post earlier today. I'm sitting there, I'm watching Peyton's Places. Today's my off day. I'm just being a fuck off all day. All right. But I'm sitting there watching Peyton's Places, and two of the best quarterbacks that have ever done it, Joe Namath and Peyton Manning. They're saying, yeah, we can make every single throw that we need to make, but it all starts with the guys up front. We don't like getting touched. You got to have protection to make those throws. And I said, like, the Chicago Bears need to take, listen to these two guys. They know what the hell they're talking about. Where do the Bears go on now from this? Obviously, you don't have the fifth. You didn't pick up the fifth-year option on Mitch. You still got Foles over the next two years. If you yourself were part of the brass up there at Hallis Hall, Carm, what are you doing? Where do they need to go?
Well, you're certainly drafting. You're coming out of the 2021 draft with a quarterback. Now, it might not be ideal, and you might not be bad enough to get one of the four guys that you want to get. But at some point, somewhere in the draft, you're going to have to walk away with a quarterback. It's a travesty that in Ryan Pace's 6 drafts, he's drafted 1 quarterback. And the one, as we've discussed for the last few minutes, is an all-time miss. That's the 1 quarterback he's drafted in 6 years. It's unacceptable.
Right.
I mean, plain and simple. And now, you are sort of paying for that, and you have to come out of 2021 with a quarterback. You have to draft an offensive lineman, probably, especially. I guess it depends on how these last 4 weeks go, guys. Like if the whole thing implodes and they don't win another game, we'll be talking differently, because then they will have improved their draft position,
Right.
Obviously. Maybe still not as high as you'd like, because they got off to that 5-1 start, which just seems silly at this point. So if everything collapses and they don't win again,
Fingers crossed.
we could be, and I hate that we have to do that, but you're right. I mean, it sucks that they put us in this position. Bastards. Like if we could be talking differently a month from now, if we get to Jan 4 and they're firing everybody because they didn't win another game. But if they do, and it's not out of the realm of possibility. I mean, this league is goofy, guys. I mean, as bad as they are, they can.
Dolphins are good.
Oh my God. They could win another, believe it or not, like they could win another 2 games, and if that happens, now you've got 7, and you're certainly going to be stuck probably somewhere in the middle of the first round. And you're going to have to be thinking about an O-lineman. You need 2 tackles, I think, guys. I can't tell you that I cannot diagnose, or I don't even want to start to give you some sort of long-term prognosis.
Samuel Kaisme and Liam Eichenberg.
Well, I'm talking about Hambright, who they drafted last year late. I mean, I don't even want to.
Hambright?
There's no point in going down that road. I'd be lying to you if I could tell you that I've ever watched any tape of him or knew him coming out of college or anything. So, if they have an idea that Hambright can play one of those spots next year, maybe. I really don't know. But the chances are you're going to have to come out with a couple of offensive linemen, 2 new tackles, whether that's in free agency, Hambright. You got to think at least one of those 2 is going to have to come from the draft. So now you need a tackle. You need to come out of the draft with a quarterback. And that's not all you need either. But you're talking about arguably the 2 most important, significant positions on the field. Certainly your 2 most important offensively, a left tackle and a quarterback. And you've got to come out of the same draft with those 2 positions. It's not going to be easy, guys. It's not going to be an easy fix. And you're kind of tied to Foles next year too.
That just even magnifies how poorly Pace has done in the draft, because all these problems, like cap space next year is going to be an issue because they signed Khalil Mack, because Leonard Floyd was a bust. You know what I mean? They had to sign Allen Robinson because Kevin White didn't play any games. You know what I mean? And it's all these problems every year that he tries to put Band-Aids on, and that's why this team is just going to be in a mess going forward for the next couple of years.
If you're constantly chasing in free agency, it's very true. I mean, normally it's because you're throwing money at some of your deficiencies in terms of how you've drafted and how you've developed. That's why you're throwing money or making trades that, quite frankly, I don't know that it's so easy to say the Bears won. I mean, I really don't think they did. It is great. And Khalil's a great player. I mean, he is. And I know it's easy to sort of dog him now, and rightfully so. Like, he needs to show up on the stat sheet, guys. He's paid, in accordance with what the great defensive players in this league are paid. And, he has to do his part. I mean, I get it. I think it's a little easy to pick on him right now, but he doesn't need us to baby him or defend him. He's got to be better. But all in all, Khalil has been a great player, and certainly he was in 18. But history shows you that the team that gets the draft picks always wins the trades in the NFL. Always. The team that gets the 2 first-rounders always wins. And then, what they spun one of those later round picks off into, I mean, Adam Johns did a good article on this about a month ago at The Athletic, where, you got the diagrams of what the Raiders have done and what they spun some of that capital into to acquire. And, guys, the Raiders won the trade. I mean, I'm sorry, they did. The Raiders won the trade.
Move Mac, because his contract is so high. His contract put almost every other team underneath the cap.
Yeah,
it sucks, man.
No, and it would accrue. You'd have everything roll over. You'd have all that the way they did it. And I'm not at the NFL cap. I'm not going to pretend to be an expert, but they spread that that bonus when you spread it out. It falls onto their books. Just the dead money that they take makes it almost impossible for them.
Right. It's almost impossible. Right.
Yeah.
Now We do have. I wrote an article and I put it up to the 1252 WordPress this week. I think some of the bright spots. I mean, I'm not trying to shit on the entire season as a whole, Carm. I have seen some bright spots of this team thus far in the last 2 weeks with David Montgomery, him coming off the concussion protocol, and the bye week looking great against the Packers and great against the Detroit Lions, and then Darnell Mooney, who's seems to amaze me each and every time I see the guy on the field. The kid reminds me of a young Tyreek Hill. If you compare the numbers, I now listen. I know that's a high standard.
It is.
Tyreek Hill is the guy's amazing. Yeah, he's amazing. But when you look at the speed and you look at the tape and you watch Darnell Mooney completely blow up Jalen Ramsey off the line in that Rams game.
Love that.
4 out of 7 times. It was beautiful. It was a thing to see. Not too many people can do that against Jalen Ramsey. What are some of the bright spots that you see on this team right now?
Well, that's definitely one of them, and maybe the biggest one. I can't disagree with you, Mike, and I've been impressed virtually the whole season. And really, if you go back and track it, guys, and I mean, I'm not breaking news to you. I mean, I by week 3, it seemed like he was their choice as a number 2 over Anthony Miller. I mean, didn't it kind of feel that way? And if you look at the snap count, I think, the snap count just indicates that too. I mean, I think he has quickly jumped to the front of the line in terms of who they want to be opposite of Allen. Now, because of his size and, where he's going to operate mostly, is he a true number 1? Probably not. But there's a lot to like about him. His speed, like you said, Mike, his ability to get open. I mean, we're always going to be remembering that movie put on Jalen Ramsey. Unfortunately, Nick Foles couldn't complete the pass to him. But when you see a young guy like that flash the ability to get open, not just speed, but to get open with route running, to get open off the line, to get away from guys.
His IQ,
that's huge. I mean, there's no doubt that is absolutely huge. And again, that's one pick that you look at Ryan Pace and we should be giving him credit for that, right? But it's just so hard to be positive about anything because some of the mistakes, and the most glaring mistake that we always circle, the one that we've discussed, and like that, it's almost like going forward, he's in a no-win position because of how bad the first 2 rounds of 17 were with Mitch and Shaheen. It's just, we should be giving him credit for Darnell Mooney. That Darnell Mooney looks like, fingers crossed, it's going to be a great find for the Bears. You know?
Do you see a scenario where Pace or Nagy come back at this point?
I mean, I guess I wouldn't totally rule it out, guys. Mike, I know that's not what you want to hear, right? I wouldn't totally rule it out. If I had to put a percentage on it, as we sit here right now with 4 games to go, my best guess would be like 70-30 that they're gone. Maybe 65-35 that they're gone. Oh,
geez, that's even worse.
70-30 that they're gone.
That's better than what I thought it was going to be. To be honest
I'd say it's about 70-30 that they're.
Do you think they fire both or only fire one?
I think they do both. I'm not sure it makes much sense to just ditch one of them. To be honest, I mean, I think if you're really going to change here and start over again, I think you need to bring in a couple of guys that are married to one another, that are lockstep. I mean, it'd be silly to bring in a new GM and say Nagy's your coach for another year, and vice versa. I mean, I don't know why you'd want to give Nagy another chance at this point and have a GM tied into him. And I just think if you're going to break it off at this point, you might as well break it off clean.
How do you not know about Josh Woods, the greatest special teams player on the planet?
I mean, Josh Woods. Well, I literally, we started texting each other. And I'm like, Josh Woods, who's that? Is that a player on the Bears? I mean, Josh Woods has 0 defensive snaps this year. Why is Laura Oakman asking Josh Woods about what the defense is going to do? He has 0 defensive snaps in 12 games. 0.
I had the reporters are getting desperate on this team.
I'm like, what is that? Yeah. I talked to Josh Woods. I thought you made a mistake. I'm like, Josh Woods? Who?
The beer guy, Josh Woods.
Josh Woods. I mean, give me a break. Unbelievable. That's how you know it's gotten bad.
The ice bath. That Josh
right,
Woods.
That guy. That's how you know it's gotten bad. When the sideline reporter is quoting what Josh Woods thinks the defense has to do. A guy who has 0 defensive plays this year. Stop it.
Oh,
crazy.
Carmen, my man, thanks for coming on with us again. I got one more
boys.
question for you. How do you, I have a fiance here and 3 dogs, and it's sometimes hard for me to get here and do the shows and stuff like that. How do you? Give me the advice that, like, how do I be like, hey babe, I got a show to do. I got to do this shit really quick.
Listen,
you do this stuff all day. You got kids, you got a wife, you got the whole nine.
This is what we do. Luckily my kids are a little bit older and self-sufficient now. I mean, not that my kids they'll be 9 and 7 in the spring. They're 8 and 6. But at that age, you can kind of tell them, hey, go put something on the TV or go play on your iPad, and they've got no problem doing that. It's like, hey, Dad's got to do something for work, so I'm going to. This is my little corner of the basement. I get like my little man corner.
Yeah, it looks pretty dope back
Not
there.
A whole
let me zoom in on there real quick. What do you got there? You got some cool shit going on there.
Stuff. I got like old pictures.
There
pictures
you go.
Of me and some. I got some of my memorabilia. I got pictures of famous people that have been in studio with us or people that we've hung with. At the Steelers, me and Yerk and Snoop, if you can see that.
What? Did you guys smoke with him?
No, we didn't smoke with him, actually.
What? Come on, man.
No. That would have been kind of. I don't even smoke, and that would have been cool. Like, believe me, if we would have had the chance where he said, "You guys want to come out to the truck," I would have had him say, "Yeah." I mean, how do I not do that?
Oh, my old lady, like, I just
me.
Bong with Snoop. Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, I would.
Me and Bong were rolling.
I absolutely would have had to.
The ESPN fan. It would have been the coolest shit on the planet.
It would have been great. I would have done it, but the opportunity didn't present itself. But yeah, I can come down to my corner, talk to you guys. I do my Whiskey Wednesday reviews down here usually, and the kids they're running around doing their old thing. They're like my son's obsessed with Minecraft, so and most of the day if we don't force him to do homework or read, he's on his iPad playing Minecraft.
Yeah, I got a 6-year-old too, Carmen. He's the same way. Watching like Preston or watching all these other. Yeah, yep. That's his favorite guy right now is Preston.
My son too. He loves him.
Play the game instead of watching him play.
I don't get it, but the minute I criticize him, then people go, "Well, you idiots watch grown men play sports for a living," and I'm like, I guess that's true.
Touche.
I guess you're right. It is what it is.
Yep. I sit here and I play Madden all day today. That's exactly. I watched the Stooges and I played Madden all day, and I'm a 32-year-old grown ass man.
Sounds like a good life.
Yeah, I'm just hanging out doing my own thing. Carmen, my man, thanks for joining us again.
Right, boys.
I really do appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy day. I'll make sure to retweet your Whiskey Wednesday. Which one was it on tonight?
Tonight we did the new release, batch 026 from Barrel Bourbon, which just came out about a month ago. You see that? I like this company. They source tons of whiskey from all over the country, and then they blend it themselves. But they have become sort of like the standard bearer in the marketplace for these great blends, and they're really good. So that's the one I did tonight.
Has a nice color. I'm gonna have to try it.
Oh, beautiful! Yeah, it's delicious. So,
all right, Carmen, thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Carmen.
We'll touch base with you later, my man.
All right, guys. See ya.
All right. Guy, fucking dude, I fucking love Carmen, man. He cracks me up, dude. He's funny as shit. Like I said, half the time I'm just calling him and bitching at him, and like I just shoot him a text, like when the Bears are sucking, like every day the last 6 weeks, yeah. Like every Sunday and Monday the last 6 weeks, where I get fucking pissed off and drunk enough to fucking ready to throw my remote through my television and touchdown spike my TV right in the middle of my living room. That's what it's like.
I told you I was watching the game on Sunday with my kid, right? First time I've ever gotten him to like sit in the same room for an extended length of time and watch football with me, right?
Right.
Because it was entertaining. The Bears were doing well. They were throwing the ball and this. And then they lost. And he looks at me with this face and goes, "Dad, they lost?" And I was like, "Get used to it, son, because it's going to happen all your life." And then he just left. And I was like,
Yeah.
I live in Wisconsin. It's so difficult to keep my kids Bears fans when I live up here.
Listen,
they go to school with all these kids who are Packer fans. It is so difficult.
Oh, dude, like I'm serious. Like I'm to the point now. Listen, dude, I love the Bears, man. I love the fucking Bears. I've been a Bear fan ever since I could remember. Like I'm not even joking. Since before, like I was watching football all the time. My dad would make me sit like on his ass. Like I would sit with him on the couch and we would watch the Bears game and then we'd go out and throw the baseball around. Or we'd go out to the garage and start building shit. Mm-hmm. Or he'd scream at me and hit me with a belt because I was being a fucking dickbag. All right. Like, like it got to that point. But like ever since I can remember, I've been a Bears fan. And it's to the point now where it's so like this loss to the Detroit Lions this last week was so comical. Like you could almost predict it. Like Eric Lambert, he's been on with us, each of the last 3 weeks with us, talking football with us from Sports Mockery. Eric Lambert. He even said, when the Bears got the ball on that last drive, it smells like a Mitch Trubisky turnover right now.
Yeah, I seen. Yeah, he said he said interception.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah, interception. Yeah, and it turns out to be a fucking fumble.
Yeah, I retweeted that shit. I was like, interception. It's the same thing, really.
Listen, Listen. As much as I shit on Mitch, man, I know that this isn't all Mitch's problem. Okay, I know that hey, you never know what the fuck this kid could have been if you would have thrown some offensive line in front of him. I didn't like the draft pick of Mitch moving up a spot to draft him when you could have drafted him at 3 as it is anyways, because he's not that great of a fucking quarterback.
Right, absolutely.
Right? But if you want to experiment, at least put protection around your experiment. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
All right, you're not going to sit there. You're not going to if you're going to set off a stick of dynamite in front of your face without a lead wall in front of you. You know what I mean? That's your own fault. You know what I mean? Like that's the problem. You know what I mean? Listen, who knows? I could be wrong. I got a couple bets out there going right now. All right. I know a couple guys out there right now. I'm sorry. I got a couple bets out there right now that where Mitch Trubisky is going to be a Pro Bowler in the next 3 years.
Yeah.
Lunch bets, money bets. I don't fucking think so.
And if he is,
it's
not on the Bears.
Right.
It's not happening here.
It's not happening here. Exactly.
Sometimes an athlete needs to leave a space. You know what I mean? And will it suck? Like, let's say he goes to the Patriots next year, right? And Bill Belichick turns him into, an 8-time Pro Bowler, two Super Bowl champions.
Right.
Like, then that's what happens, right? Then clearly the coaching staff that we had for him didn't work. But the thing is, you're at this point where like, okay, Pace sucks, Nagy sucks, Mitch isn't what we thought he was.
Right.
So you can't just keep him it'd be the same thing like with Cutler, right? Where they turned over the coach, turned over the GM, still wasn't working. They're like, we'll turn over the coach,
offensive coordinator.
Right. It just doesn't work sometimes. Sometimes the guy needs a different coach, a different organization. And if that's the case, so be it.
Well, nothing's greater than nothing's a greater example of that than Randy Moss leaving Minnesota to go to Oakland, where he fucking suffered for 3 seasons, or 4 seasons, or whatever it was, and then goes on out there to New England and fucking flourishes.
Yeah, imagine if he would have went to New England instead of Oakland altogether.
Imagine if he would have just stayed in Minnesota, where they had a fucking quarterback.
Yep.
You're going to go out and throw this guy behind Jamarcus Russell for crying out loud? Are you shitting me?
That's for sure.
Yeah, talk about a bust. At least Mitch is not Jamarcus Russell or Ryan Leaf. All right, but that's a fucking bust, because in front of Jamarcus Russell, he had Robert Gallery, a great left tackle, blindside tackle to protect him. He had a decent old line out there. All right. He just didn't have any ability to throw a fucking ball. He didn't have the smarts to understand the defense.
Right.
That's what Jamarcus Russell's problem was. The guy could sit there and throw a football through a fucking steel door.
Yep.
He had arm strength, and he had one of the tightest spirals I've ever seen on a ball. And the guy had arm strength, bro. I seriously watched that guy from on his knees throw a ball through the fucking uprights at his own 25-yard line. He threw the ball 75 yards on his fucking knees. Legit.
Wild.
All right, that's how strong that guy's arm was. The problem was he is fucking dumb. All right, he couldn't understand what a defense looked like. He was you could coach a hammer to be a better quarterback than that guy. Mitch at least has a brain.
I mean, I don't know, man. Let's be honest.
No. Mitch has a brain. Mitch has a brain.
I would. He's not dumb. Yes, I get that, but he definitely struggles when it comes to reading defenses. So I wouldn't say that he's smart at football. I don't think he's dumb, because I've never played football, but I'm not Mitch.
And to bring something up here, Chris Gonzalez brings up something. He's like, go look how Sean Payton is scheming his offense around Taysom Hill. It's detrimental with Nagy. It's detrimental that Nagy can't be successful with Mitch. Nagy does not have an identity in 3 years, and he even tried with Foles, but Mitch was more successful with this offense. You're right. Mitch is more successful, and the only reason Mitch is more successful in this offense than Foles is because he can move out of the pocket and extend the play and extend play time. That's why he is more successful than Nick Foles. Accuracy-wise, they both fucking suck.
Yeah.
All right.
In my opinion, Nagy did no favors.
Go ahead and go look at some of the shit that Taysom Hill did in BYU. All right. Go ahead and look. Like, that dude's accuracy, like his passing accuracy rating was fucking skyrocketed through the roof. The guy just never played a full season out there because he got hurt every fucking year. All right, now the guy's half bionic, and that's why he's doing. That's why they call the guy. That's one of the reasons why they call the guy the human Swiss Army knife,
right?
Because half of him is fucking steel and replaced. All right, like literally, like the guy has 2 fake knees, a replaced hip, and a fucking and like a steel shoulder. Like the guy's insane. Okay, but the reason why Taysom Hill is successful because it's his way, it's not your way. It's not any other way. He knows how to work around a quarterback's strengths. All right, Taysom Hill's strength. He's only throwing the ball 15 to fucking 20. I don't even think he's thrown the ball 20 times yet.
Right, and
Taysom Hill's strength is, listen, we're going to use you in a wildcat form. That's what we're going to do with you.
Yep.
We're going to make you throw little junk and jogger passes, pretty much exactly what Drew Brees is doing now anyways. Slant routes to Michael Thomas off of fucking 5 yards because Drew Brees' arm.
Yeah, he can. He used to
spaghetti noodle it now. You know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't know, man.
I definitely don't think Nagy did any favors for Mitch.
No.
I think in 2018, you've seen Nagy utilize Mitch the best he could. That was the best Mitch you would see.
That's not even the thing, though, Angelo. Like that, I'm so fucking. I'm not trying to cut you off.
No,
but I'm so sick of this argument too. In 2018, he used Nagy the best to his possibility, best to his abilities. No, he didn't. What Nagy did is absolutely nothing. The defense was so good that year.
Yeah,
that the ball was consistently in the hands of the Bears offense. That's why Mitch looked so good. He had so many other opportunities to look good or to fuck up. Plain and simple. He had so much more body of work.
I do think in 2019, I think Nagy wanted to prove a point in 19. I think it was, hey, I'm going to run the offense the way I want to run it, and Mitch is not going to understand it. And that's why they struggled so badly that last year. And this year, I just think the offensive line has been so bad. The team has been so bad. There's not enough impact play out by the defense. You know what I mean? And it shows in the interview after the game last Sunday when they asked Nagy, what do you have to do to fix this? And he said, I don't know. Right there, that's it. That was, to me, that's the nail in the Nagy coffin. He's done. You cannot bring that guy back. And it's not his fault necessarily, but you can't keep beating a dead horse, right? That's what they say. And that's what they're doing with this team. I'm just, at this point, I'm looking forward to, the breakup and rebuilding the life. You know what I mean? Like I've told you that this Bears team reminds me of a shitty relationship where you're just getting abused, yelled at, all this shit. And then bye week came, you took a break, you went to your parents' house, they went to their parents' house, and you're like, oh, well, I miss you. They came back the next week, and it's the same shit.
Yeah. No,
eventually you have to call it quits.
Right. And listen, man, like I said, I'm not blaming this all on Mitch because it's not, it's again, the quote, fucking famous Greg Braggs. All right. It's not all on Mitch.
Absolutely.
If you would have given this kid something to protect him, you don't know what he could become. All right. Honestly, you don't know what the ceiling is for this kid, but the way they built this team, where they strictly went, still maintaining that old school thought of Monsters of the Midways being the defensive side of the ball.
Right.
I'm so fucking sick of that. I'm so monsters of the Midway.
This is Chicago-based. This is Chicago football.
This shit.
This is Bears football.
Chicago Bears football is defense. Well, let me tell you something. When was the last time a fucking defense won a championship?
The last time Peyton Manning was in the World Series? I mean, the Super Bowl.
The last time Peyton Manning was in the World Series was fucking never. All right? All right? No, I'm joking.
I meant the Super Bowl. That was probably it.
No, but like legit, yeah. I mean, the Broncos were a very good Super Bowl defensive team. They were a very good defense. The Baltimore, I almost called them Baltimore fucking Orioles. The Baltimore Ravens. All right. The last time the Baltimore,
we got the baseball and football all mixed up.
Because we're all fucking. It's all right. Well, fuck it. This show's a shit show, anyways. It's cool. But no, like honestly, there's been team after team where you've seen mediocre to bottom half of the league defenses win the fucking championship. Most recently, the Kansas City fucking Chiefs the last year. Yeah. All right. They were not a very good defense. They just put up a fuck ton of points. All right. Yeah. San Francisco had an awesome defense going into last year. Everybody was talking about their defense. Everybody's talking about their defense. What did Mahomes do? Mahomes fucking came back and beat them in the Super Bowl. That's what Mahomes did. That's exactly what Mahomes did.
Mahomes,
you need a good offense, man. You need a good offense.
That's why I hope that Watson comes in there. And as much as I hate when the Bears lose, man.
Oh,
and like Carm said, it sucks that we're at this point, right? It's not my fault that we're at this point. It's the Bears and the organization's fault. But at this point, the only way to nail this down, that Pace and Nagy need to be gone, is for Watson to come in and destroy the Bears. And that's it. Yeah. Because then you've lost to Patrick Mahomes. You can't beat Aaron Rodgers. And now you've lost to Deshaun Watson, the two guys taken after him. And that's it. Boom. That's the only way I feel to assure that Pace and Nagy will be gone.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm hoping for the same exact thing. I made a Twitter poll earlier today about what we got our buddy Tim Sutton. Call it 2020. The Indian took away half our organizations. Jesus Christ. But anyways, no, like I really want to see Deshaun Watson come in here and just go fucking ham, dude. Mm-hmm. That's what I want to see. And then, like you said, maybe George McCaskey, that old fucking bat, Virginia McCaskey, maybe the nurses that push them around in their fucking wheelchairs will be like, hey, listen, you got to fire people now because this is bad. Deshaun Watson just threw for fucking 500 yards and 6 touchdowns.
I see it happening for sure.
I hope so,
he's going to afford. That defense struggled last week.
My Bears. I'm not trying to shit on the Bears, dude. I love the fucking Bears. I do. But enough's enough of this shit already. For anybody that's pulling for this team to win any of their last fucking 4 games is fucking batshit.
Yeah, I've heard you want them to lose? You're not a real fan. At the same time, what's best for this organization right now? And that's to lose, right?
Yeah. No. Yeah.
I mean,
I thought
real fans would want that, right?
You were still going there. That's why I shut up. I thought you were still going there. No, that's the best thing for this organization right now. Is for them to completely shit the bed on the rest of the season and get a higher draft pick. That's the best case scenario for this team right now. Megan, what do you think? Megan says, "Fuck you, I'm out of here." That's what Megan says. All right, but no, like legit, like that's the best thing for this organization right now. But it's not going to work unless you get these fucking dildos out of the office.
Yep.
Because if you let Ryan Pace draft another fucking team, another guy that's within the top 15 picks of this organization, I am going to lose my fucking mind. I am going to go absolutely fucking bananas if you let this fucking dipshit draft another guy as a Chicago Bear fucking headsman.
Like,
honestly.
Like Sylvie has said many times, there's Sylvie from ESPN 1000, for those of you that don't know. Yeah. You cannot let this guy pick again. Period. He has screwed up every single draft. He might have 1 or 2 really, okay guys here and there, but as a whole, has he picked 5 guys on this team that are going to be, future, game breakers? No, I don't believe so.
Yeah, no, there's no big game breakers, man. Right. There's really not.
So
there's not. I mean, what the thing is here, we got Ron says this. Real fans look at the big picture. And I wholeheartedly agree. Ron Rupnow, our guy, I spoke with him today. Ron's good people. He always listens to us, and it was good to touch base with him today. I missed Ronnie. But anyways, he says real fans think of the big picture, and he's 100% right. I don't want to see what we saw 3 years ago where the Bears make the playoffs and then an 8-8. Now this fucking shit show.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that. I want to see New England Patriots where you win the fucking division. I want to see the Green Bay fucking Packers where you win the division.
Oh, chill out, Pack Mike.
Oh, no.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
You can fucking swallow that mic. I don't care. All right. I'm serious. That's what I want to see. I want to see consistent winning constantly. That's what I want to see. I want to see a basis of a winning organization because right now you're a fucking laughing stock in the NFL.
Yeah.
There are dog shit teams out there with way less talent than the Chicago Bears have that are in way better situations than the Chicago Bears.
And the worst thing is the Bears are to the NFL, the Bears are the charter franchise, right?
They're a fucking charter franchise.
Yeah. And right now, you would expect that team to be a top 10 contending team every year, right?
Yep. Steelers.
And you haven't even been that. You've been that what? What'd they say? 4 times in the last 20 years?
5 in the last.
You had a 10. You had a 10 or above winning record.
5 in the last 25 years.
That's insane.
That's fucking pathetic.
That's insane. Aaron Rodgers falls out of bed with an 11-win season.
Yeah,
it's sick, man. And now I'm all pissed off. We started the show so good with baseball talk.
Yeah, hey, listen, I still like baseball, but no, this is what it is, though, man. This conversation has to be had. I just for you guys. I mean, I don't know if you guys probably didn't read anything because nobody reads anything anymore unless they're taking a shit. But I did write an article, so the next time you take a shit, look at my article and you can think of me. All right, all right. But I wrote an article. It's like this is fucking embarrassing, dude. This is dog shit. This fucking organization is fucking terrible. George McCaskey and Virginia McCaskey don't even know that they own a fucking NFL franchise.
Yeah. Well, Virginia was pissed off. She was pissed off.
She was getting wheeled the wrong way because she thought she was supposed to be going home at halftime. Where am I? Fucking just keel over already.
Oh my god!
Give the team to George. Let George sell it because the only reason that it's kept around is because she's still around. For crying out loud! Somebody dug these people up before the game these last 2 weeks and threw them in the press box. They look all fucking delirious. They have no idea what they're.
Man, yeah, it's a pain in the ass. What are the picks for Thursday's game?
Well, Thursday night's game, we got New England and the Rams. You're done talking about the Bears, Angelo?
Yeah, man, I'm done. They piss me off.
You're done?
I don't want to, dude.
I want to talk about it.
Every single week, every single show, it goes back to this fucking team, and it just pisses me off at the end. And then I'm mad for the next 20 minutes after the show. So I'm done with it.
We got to hold on really quick. We got some pretty good comments. Maybe this will make you want to talk some more Bears. Chris Gonzalez says a $4 billion franchise gives us these shit hires and false hope. Bingo. Fucking ding, ding, ding. What is the Chicago Bears? Did I win the Jeopardy question? Because I think I did. And then Tim Sutton says, squeak, squeak, take me to my room. That's McCaskey.
Oh, man.
Fucking
right. I like what Ron said too, man, that the real fans look at the bigger picture. And that's the truth. And for the people who are like, oh, you guys, why would you ever root for your team? The bigger picture with this team is that what they've been doing for the last 20, 25 years hasn't worked, right? They need to lose to get everybody out of there, to get a better draft pick, and hopefully this is the writing on the wall for the McCaskies. Hey, this franchise or this fan base is not going to settle for what we've settled for. And I'm hoping they're lucky there are no fans in the stands this year because I think – oh, man, Jesus. You thought people booed when Cutler would turn the ball over at the worst time.
I missed
the fans would destroy this team. It would be over.
Yeah. I know. I know it sucks. It sucks. So yeah, we do got to make our pick 'em, Angelo.
Yeah.
We do got to make our pick 'em. Our pick 'em for tomorrow night, as we do every week on Talking Football and every week on the Fat Mike Show. We do make our pick 'ems for the week. What is the record? I know. Never mind. I didn't want to go.
No,
over
we'll
it.
do that on Tuesday, on Sunday.
That was. I had a bad week. I'm pretty sure the only game I got right was Washington against the Steelers, but I did pick that one. So fuck yeah.
Yeah, we'll see, man. I don't think you did as bad as you'd think, but I don't know.
Right. Big Ball's bet of the week, man, and I fucking nailed it. Tyler again, his lock of the week got fucking shit on.
Yeah. Your big balls bet of the week, man. That was legit. I mean, and of course, I said last Sunday, I was like, every time I pick against the Steelers, they always win because I'm like, oh, they're bound to lose. But this week, I'll pick the Steelers, and then they fucking lose. Like, I picked the Steelers the last 5 weeks to lose.
Against them the last 6 weeks to lose, and now they fucking.
And then that's just been me this whole last month.
It's me and the Jets. Me and every New York sports team.
Yeah.
Like I said, I wouldn't mind if New York just burned down to the ground. I wouldn't care if there was a weird earthquake where it separated New York State and Florida and just sent them out into the middle of the fucking ocean. Like literally. Like I'm just get rid of both of them. Florida is where people go to die, and New York has shitty sports teams.
Where all the people go to retire.
Right. So there we go. So let's do we got New England against the Rams tomorrow night. I think it's New England in Los Angeles. Tyler did pick the Rams. Angelo, where are you going?
Who are you going to pick? Oh,
I counted it off first. Give me the guns.
I am going to take. It's hard, man, because New England's been so shitty, on and off, inconsistent. I'm going to take the Rams.
Ooh, and I'm going to go New England. I think the Pats are going to make a crazy, weird fucking stench.
I wouldn't be surprised either way.
Bill Belichick, man, his best coaching year of all time this year with a fucking quarterback that has literally thrown, I think, less than 10 touchdowns all year. I think Cam Newton has like 7 touchdowns all year throwing. I know he's got like 11 rushing. He's been a fucking beast on the ground.
Yeah.
But he's thrown less than 10 touchdowns on the year. And I'm pretty sure he has way more interceptions. I think he's like 5 for like 10 or 5 for 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
Touchdown interceptions, but he's still doing it up there. And I don't know. I'm not taking New England on a whim. It's not my big balls bet of the week. But I'm taking New England.
Well, we'll drop the big balls on Sunday, so everybody make sure you're watching the Talking Football Show.
Yeah, make sure you guys tune in Monday. Fucking shit. Angelo, help me out here. I can't even talk.
Sunday
morning at 9:00, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you guys tune in for Talking Football.
Eric Lambert joins us again.
Lambert joins us again. We're really excited.
I'm sure we'll just shit all over the Bears one more time.
We'll shit all over the Bears one more time, and we'll have some fun with that. And I'm taking Houston this week. I know that's my pick. That might be my lock.
We'll talk. It's the last game we talk, okay?
That might be my lock. But anyways, yeah, I mean, that's the show, man. Thanks to Carmen from ESPN, Carmen DeFalco, ESPN Chicago 1000 coming on with us. I mean, that was awesome of him coming on. Another great night having him come out here, talk Sox, talk some Chicago Bears. That was fun.
Yep.
Thank you to everybody in the chat room that joined us tonight. A lot of hit-ups tonight, Angelo, through the Facebook and through
nice active chat. It was good.
Yeah, nice active chat. I was really happy with that. So Roger Morris, we got some Grant Sims, we got some Chris, we got some Chris Gonzalez, we got a bunch of people in here. Tim Sutton and a fucking bunch of people. List goes on and on. Thank you guys for coming on with us. We really do appreciate you joining us one more time. Andrew Tarba was with us again. That son of a bitch. I love that guy. He's here every week. Anyways, yeah, thanks for coming on with us. It was a great show, Angela. I liked this show. It was good.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good one.
It was good. It was a lot of fun. We got all our bitching out of the way, man. Next week, we're going to be talking more baseball, man. There's going to be more baseball news hitting the stand.
And the NBA comes back in a couple. NBA and hockey come back soon.
I don't know. We're gonna have to get Salim on here, man, because Salim knows basketball. I don't know basketball. I'm not a basketball guy. I'm pretty crazy. I appreciate it, but yeah, own my.
Yeah, maybe we'll message Salim, see about getting him on in the next week or two.
All right, man. Yeah, sounds like a plan. Yeah, we'll definitely look into it and get him on here. Hopefully, he can tell us about this draft we've got, because I don't know anything about basketball. So you guys can chat basketball, and I'll just sit here and clip my nails.
That works.
But yeah, I still like the Bulls. I still like watching them. But on that note, yeah, thank you again to Carmen DeFalco, ESPN Chicago 1000, ESPN Chicago. Look them up at Carmen DeFalco. Angelo, thank you tonight. Thank you to everybody in the chat. We really do appreciate it. Thank you to Firehouse Subs for sponsoring the show. If you guys are hungry, make sure you guys eat. And make sure you guys eat at Firehouse Subs because they got really good shit. I love that place. You got to go get the Fat Mike sandwich, dude. So you ever had the Fat Mike, Angelo? You ever got the Fat Mike from Firehouse?
No.
Dude, it's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. It's roast beef on a garlic bread with sriracha and tons of loaded mozzarella cheese and sport peppers all over it. It's phenomenal. Say that you've been sent there from Fat Mike, and they'll give you a little discount off because they're badass. So yeah, on that note, that's the show, Angelo.
That's what's up. It was a fun show, Mike, and I'll talk to you throughout the week, and I'll see your beautiful face on Sunday.
Aw, I love you too.
Peace.
All right. Peace, guys. We will talk to you guys later. See you on Sunday. Talk football, 9 a.m. Don't be late. Later. Woo-hoo.